best soldiers, made by the best workers anywhere in the world, and that's true. A lot of people are asking, because they love me, and they ask me about a man named John McCain. And if you want that to tell you about, should I or not? Yes? Yes? So I have to be honest, I've never liked him much. Hasn't been for me. I've really probably never will. But there are certain reasons for it, and I'll tell you. And I do this to save a little time with the press later on. John McCain received a fake and phony dossier. Do you hear about the dossier? It was paid for by crooked Hillary Clinton, right? And John McCain got it. He got it. And what did he do? Didn't call me. He turned it over to the FBI, hoping to put me in jeopardy. And that's not the nicest thing to do. You know, when those people say, because I'm a very loyal person. John McCain campaigned for years to replace Obamacare, for years in Arizona, great state. I love the people of Arizona. But he campaigned for years for repeal and replace. So did Rob, so did a lot of senators. When he finally had the chance to do it, he voted against repeal and replace. He voted against at 2 o'clock in the morning. Remember, thumbs down. We said, what the hell happened? He said 2 hours before he was voting to repeal and replace, and he went thumbs down. Badly hurting the Republican Party, badly hurting our nation, and hurting many sick people who desperately wanted good, affordable health care. We would have had it. This would have saved our country over $1 trillion in entitlements, and we would have ended up making a great health care plan, frankly, with the Democrats, because they would have had no choice. McCain didn't get the job done for our great vets and the VA, and they knew it. That's why when I had my dispute with him, I had such incredible support from the vets and from the military. The vets were on my side because I got the job done. I got choice, and I got accountability. Accountability meaning somebody mistreats our vets. For 45 years they were trying. They mistreat our vets. And we say, hey, you're fired, get out. You can't mistreat our vets. They never got it done. And choice, for years and years, decades, they wanted to get choice. You know what choice is? You're a military person. You're one of our great people. To me, one of the great people. For many decades, they couldn't get it done. It was never done. I got it 5 months ago. I got it done. Choice. Instead of waiting in line, a vet fought for us, fought in these tanks, fought for us. Instead of waiting in line for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, people waiting online, they're not very sick. By the time they see a doctor, they're terminally ill. We gave them choice. If you have to wait for any extended period of time, you go outside, you go to a local doctor, we pay the bill, you get yourself better, go home to your family, and we got it passed, we got it done. And the other thing is we're in a war in the Middle East that McCain pushed so hard. He was calling Bush, President Bush, all the time, get into the Middle East, get into the Middle East. So now we're into that war for $7 trillion. Thousands and thousands of our people have been killed, millions of people overall. And frankly, we're straightening it out now, but it's been a disaster for our country. We've spent tremendous wealth, and tremendous lives in that war. And what do we have? It's worse than it was 19 years ago. I call them the endless wars. 19 years ago when we started. So John McCain left it. I endorsed him at his request, and I gave him the kind of funeral that he wanted, which as president, I had to approve. I don't care about this. I didn't get thank you. That's okay. We sent him on the way, but I wasn't a fan of John McCain. So now what we could say is, now we're all set. I don't think I have to answer that question, but the press keeps, what do you think of McCain? What do you think? Not my kind of guy, but some people like him, and I think that's great. Now, let's get back And let's get on to the subject of tanks and this economy, because you know what? We love where we are and what we do more than anything else. Great, we fight great, and we're right now in Lima, and Lima is an incredible place, a place of strength and dedication. Since 1941, this plant has built and serviced thousands of tanks and military vehicles that powered American forces through World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And the tanks are the best in the world, better than ever before. Every single Abrams tank in existence, the steel and the aluminum, war horse, they're really a war horse of American ground forces. It was built or serviced on these very grounds by you people, by you people. But under the previous administration, this tank factory, the last of its kind anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, came very close to shutting down. 4 straight years, the number of U.S. tanks that were budgeted for upgrades was 0. Does anybody remember that? Raise your hands. You remember that? 0. That was under your great President Obama. Our military readiness declined, and your workforce was slashed by 60%. But those days are over. We are rebuilding the American military. We are restoring American manufacturing. And we are once again fighting for our great American workers. Over the last 2 years, we have secured nearly $1.5 trillion to provide our warfighters the finest aircraft, ships, missiles, and tanks anywhere on Earth. We make the best equipment on Earth. And we sell that equipment, as you know, to goods. Although sometimes the good ones turn out to be not so good, and then we do something. We figure it out. You know what you have to do? You figure it out. This year, we're asking for an additional $750 billion, which is a record. That includes funding to upgrade more than 160 mighty M1 Abrams tanks. Congratulations. Congratulations. These historic investments are making America safer and our workforce stronger. From the awe-inspiring F-35 fighter in Texas to the Ford-class aircraft carriers in Virginia, we're now building the largest aircraft carrier anywhere in the world. In fact, I'm hearing it's actually the largest ship ever built. It is seriously big. I was there recently. It's something, it's like landing at an airport. Although you have to be very talented still to land in those decks, no matter how you figure it. Some people can do it and some people can't. Some very good pilots can. To advance missile defense systems in Alabama, American workers are building the most cutting-edge, modern, and powerful military anywhere on the planet. At the heart of our military rebuilding is our investment in the legendary M1 Abrams tank. And I will tell you, the investment is paid off because the technology